Now, before you pick an investment option according to your age, here are 3 things that you must keep in mind. Number 1, inflation. For example, let's assume you keep 100 rupees in your locker today. Then tomorrow, that 100 rupees in your locker will become 95 because of inflation. Inflation reduces the purchasing power of money because prices of atta, dal, clothes, real estate keeps on increasing, but your cash does not increase. In January 2020, the inflation rate in India was 7.59%. So dreams come later. If you first want to keep receiving food and clothing, then you have to beat this inflation. Number 2, retirement planning. See, one day you will get old, and that day you will need more money for medicines and operations. Cost of living will increase, and to make things worse, you won't have any monthly income. Unfortunately, people start retirement planning after getting retired. And for some, their retirement planning is their children. That's like the worst plan ever. After working for 40 plus years, don't you deserve to be free, financially independent? So factor number 2 to always keep in mind is your retirement fund. Number 3, dreams/goals. This is where you and I are different. And you and your brother and sister are different. Because all of us have different goals in life. Some want higher education, some want to travel, others want to start a business. And all of us want our apna ghar. So your goals will decide what is the best investment option for you. Now, keeping these 3 factors in mind, let's see what are the top 4 investment categories in the market. So most of the investment options can be classified into these top 4 asset classes. Number 1, cash. Cash is money in your hands or in your savings account. Low risk, very less returns. In SBI, savings account returns are just 3.25%, which is not enough to beat inflation. Forget retirements or dreams. But it is good to have a certain percentage of your savings as cash because it is readily available. Number 2, debt investments. We have bonds, debentures, but the most common debt investments in India are through FDs or RDs. SBI's FD returns are between 5 to 7%. But they come with constraints like lock-in periods, missed installment penalties. While it is good to have a certain percentage in FD for stability, it's not wise to invest all of your money in this category. Number 3, real estate. Fine, I took a loan and bought a house because I'm emotionally attached to the concept of apna ghar. But beyond one house where you live, I don't prefer real estate as an investment because of 3 reasons. Returns are location specific. To maintain it, you have to pay taxes, renovations, and liquidity is low because taking out your money takes a year or more. So unless you're living there, you must decide whether it is worth the trouble or not. And finally, we have equity. People who want to beat inflation, save for retirement, and grow their wealth invest in equities, either through mutual funds or stock market. But as you witnessed in the last few weeks, markets are volatile. So after investing, it is advised to wait for at least 3 to 5 years to see their potential because equities are long-term investments. In my opinion, 2 easiest ways of investing in equity are: number 1, index funds, because you pay the least expense ratio to a fund manager but are still tied to the growth of the economy. And number 2, small case, Now, what is small case? If you want to invest in stock market directly, but think it is too risky to invest in one company, then you can check out small case. They create a basket of stocks based on a certain theme like rising rural demand, smart cities, electric mobility, etc. So instead of risking it all on one company, small case allows you to diversify across multiple sectors and market caps. I know it is sounding interesting. So don't worry, I'll tell you more about it later. But for now, remember these 4 asset categories, because in the next segment, we are going to see how you can divide your investments in these 4 categories depending on your age. Now, before I begin, know that there is no one size fits all. Please feel free to modify the percentage of division that I am suggesting depending on your risk-taking capability. With that understanding, let's start with your 20s. In your 20s, assuming your monthly expenditure is E and your age is X, then your split can be like this. Keep 2E, that is at least 2 months of your expenditure as cash or in your savings account. For equity percentage, let me give you a formula. It is generally advised that you invest 100 minus X% in equity, where X is your age. Suppose your age is 25. Then you can put 100 minus 25, which is equal to 75% of your savings in equity. Your equity options are mutual funds, investing directly in stock market or through small case. But remember, choose each equity investment based on a long-term goal like higher education, retirement, corpus for buying a house later, so on and so forth. After you have invested 100 minus X in equity, invest the rest, which is X%, in debt for stability. You can choose FDs or even liquid mutual funds that can act as your emergency fund for a rainy day. With age, your risk-taking capacity decreases, and this formula ensures that as you get old, you start shifting from equity to debt, which is why 20s are considered a great age to invest in equity, because even though you have less money, you have the advantage of time. Coming to your 30s, as you grow older, your responsibilities increase. Assuming you will be married and plan to have children, I'm not saying you should, but in case you do, then you need to plan for children's education for sure, but also plan to enjoy your breaks with your spouse by taking holidays or occasional international travels. Unfortunately, post-marriage, couples immediately take home loans, car loans, personal loans, and for a long time keep servicing these loans. But it's always better to first save and build a decent corpus, which is why the split is 100 minus X for equity. Even if you've missed investing in your 20s, 30s are still a good time to start a SIP. Debt is still X%. But since you're investing more in debt in your 30s, plan to do short-term investments in liquid funds for vacations or to build a corpus before you take a home loan. Now 40s is a good time because salaries of both husband and wife increases. At this time, it is important to keep a check on your expenses and invest the additional salary by topping up your SIPs from time to time to meet your goals faster. So, equity can be between 50 to 60% after doing that 100 minus X calculation. If you have not invested any amount in equity till now, then it is time to get serious and talk to a financial advisor. Retirement savings should be your priority, but also plan for children's education, supporting parents, and stay away from schemes that sound too good to be true. because more often than not, they have high risks associated with them. Coming to debt, at least 3 to 4 months of your salary should be saved as emergency fund, because more responsibilities you have, more stability you need. By the way, here's a pro tip. In your 30s or 40s, you have a family to take care of. So, investing in a life insurance policy at this time is a wise decision. But at all ages, you must have a health insurance policy, because in case of an emergency or accident, a health insurance saves you from loans. And when you don't have loans, will you have any money to put in the rest of the investments? Coming to 50 and beyond, I'm sure your parents fall into this category. So you can show them this video, talk to them, and you can help them plan their investments by doing this. Equity, 30 to 40%. Even if you invest in equity, pick large cap companies that have less risk, or choose the all-weather investing small case. I'll show you what it is in a minute. Now in debt, at least have 6 months of your salary as emergency fund at this age. So as you just saw, when you start your career, you have more appetite for taking risks. And slowly as you reach retirement, you will have no monthly income and less risk appetite. So it is important that you are prepared for this transition. As I mentioned earlier, equities help you generate long-term wealth and hence prepare you for retirement and beat inflation. But it is important that you don't lose money in equity due to greed, fear, or lack of knowledge.